All right, we are live. Hello, everybody. I'm going to try to do a live every week, Friday at 2 p.m. That's what I'm shooting for. Should work out unless I'm on a plane or something. So that's what we're doing. Welcome, everybody. We're going to get going. I'll be looking at the chat throughout, hopefully, get to some questions at the end. I don't know how long we're going to do this, maybe 30 minutes, maybe an hour. But I've got some things set up, some segments, name some segments for you. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do behavior of the week, hater of the week, which is always interesting, Beckman hater of the week, and I'm going to highlight a trainer for you, and then we'll get to Q&A and whatever else is going on. Someone wrote in the chat that they think that a Sicario 3 is coming out. If you watched my podcasts, you know how the love I have for Sicario 1, really anything Taylor Sheridan does. So I hope the Sicario 3 is coming out, like this guy says in the chat. All right. Behavior of the week. I've got a video for you. So it's behavior, it's a principle, it's a lot of things. So, and stick with me here. All right. Because it might solve a serious problem for you. There is a serious problem that comes from this principle, okay, which is superstitious behavior. And I'm going to show you Duke doing a superstitious behavior, tell you how to fix it, then tell you the serious problem. Actually, I'm going to have you write in the chat at any point what the serious behavior problem is that is often caused by a superstitious behavior. I believe there's only one, okay? So, you got to think, let's see if anyone wrote it. You got to think with your head a little bit. What's a serious behavior problem? Is sit a serious behavior problem? Is digging really a serious behavior problem? Is counter surfing? Nah, it's serious. It's caused by superstitious behavior. Okay. Oh my God, you guys are okay. No one in the Beckman coaching program can write the answer. McFlurry wrote separation anxiety. McFlurry, you're a genius. You're not a genius. Maybe you are. How did you get that? From me, from yourself? Write it in the chat how you got that. I could barely get it out of my mouth, and McFlurry already answered the question. You better not be in the Beckman coaching program, or you're in trouble. Okay, so we'll get to the video. Superstitious behavior is a behavior that is accidentally reinforced. That's probably the best definition. The reinforcement is almost always a jackpot. It can't really develop from tiny reinforcements. You're walking by a trash can, you glance in there, you see $100 bill. It looks like someone just dropped it in there accidentally. You walk by that trash can, the next 100 times you're looking in that trash can, even though you know someone accidentally dropped it in there. That makes no sense. What, are they going to do it again? No, you're still going to look. You're still hoping that thing happens. That is a superstitious behavior. Duke, as you will see, as I feed him, he does a spin. Letting him out of his crate, he does a spin. That is a superstitious behavior. It was done one time. I progressed with the jackpotting of food, and he is a hungry dog, and he got the reinforcement. And he said, well, I might as well do that again. Sort of not even consciously. And he did it again, and I progressed because I didn't notice it. Maybe I didn't notice it. And then I did not get it. He spun it, and he said, oh, I have to do this to get the food, apparently. Who the hell knew? That's what he said. That is a superstitious behavior. McFlurry in the comments. You didn't say how you knew this. How'd you know? You read it somewhere? You saw me say it? You got it right. Okay, here's the behavior. Ready? All right, this is new. I got to add this. Oh yeah, here we go. Ready? This is Duke. Don't blink or you're going to miss this. And I'm progressing with the food. There it is. That is. Okay, now get it on me. Superstitious behavior. So here's what I'm going to do. Now go on him. And okay, that's it. Boring. I get it. Whatever. All right. How do we fix it in the spinning? It's not hard. I mean, I've done 5 things that work. I progress slowly. I could ask a sit and then progress. And once I break that cycle, he's like, oh, I sit, and the dude still comes with the food. Oh, I broke the cycle with a slow walk. I have also, the minute he goes to do it, I turn around and I walk the other way. So actually, his spin gets the food farther away. If I just do the normal kind of thing, he still will do it. But you okay? Do you guys understand? Okay, McFlurry has been a dog trainer. Okay, um, that's how he knows. So here's how it works. It is normal for a puppy to bark and whine when you leave. That is a pretty normal puppy behavior, very normal puppy behavior. What You are the jackpot. You leaving is the worst thing in the history of the world, potentially. There's nothing really worse than that. You walking through the door is the best thing in the world, really, for an anxious dog, for a puppy by himself, terrified, whatever. So he barks and whines. You know not to come back in, maybe reinforce the behavior. You don't want to do that, but you forgot your keys. So you walk right through that door, and dog goes, "It got her back. I'm going to do that again." And it only has to happen a couple times, and the dog literally thinks that that's what gets you back. Now, it's not always the case that it starts that way, but it often starts that way. So, simple answer: don't forget your keys. Um, there's a more to it for separation anxiety, but that's often how separation anxiety starts. All right. R. Patrick writes, wouldn't a superstitious behavior another way to essentially say prediction error in this case? He thinks the spin creates the food coming. Isn't that what I said? Prediction error? I don't know. There's ways to say different stuff, right? I was taught superstitious behavior. Oh, I was taught superstitious behavior. Where did I learn superstitious behavior? That is going to get to our next point, which is hater of the week. But let's go to the comments here real quick. Okay, basically counter conditioning. So Nick says basically counter conditioning. No, showing that superstition does not equal desired outcome. I could be wrong, but that'd be the psychological side of it. Or the psychological side of it could be superstitious behavior. That's a psychological term, I'm guessing. Basically, counter conditioning, no. Why would we introduce what's called a delta, which is a no? Why would we introduce a delta when we don't need to? I would prefer not to give a delta, a no. I would prefer to just do a movement or ask an alternative behavior. There's enough no's in the world. I say them. You say them to your kids and your wife and your husband. Sometimes there's enough no's. Why don't we do things that we can be done just as easy without saying no? Don't do that. All right. Hater of the week. Hater of the week is a review, and there'll be plenty of haters of the week in the comments on YouTube and Instagram and TikTok. But this one was kind of interesting. Somebody sent this to me. I wish I knew where it came from, so I could respond. But there's a few review places out there, Reddit, Yelp. Okay. All right. Joel Beckman claims he is, in quotes, the leader of the dog training industry, due in part to his experience training marine animals and other exotics. I don't know that I ever claimed that I'm the leader, like necessarily, which is funny because he cites zero education/training in regards to dogs and numerous canine behavior. American veterinary medical associations have spoken out against the harmful methods he uses as carrying significant risk to behavior, welfare, and psychological health. Despite this, he charges $400, $600 per hour, despite citing no continued education, peer-reviewed credentials, or professional development in canine behavior. I'm going to go through my education in a minute. His training approach is riddled with outdated thinking, rampant and ridiculous anthropomorphism, demonstrates a lack of understanding of even the basics of canine cognition, i.e., in quotes, this dog has mommy daddy issues. Yup. I will say it till the day I die. By the way, be more anthropomorphic. Don't be less anthropomorphic. I'll tell you about anthropomorphism when I get done with this. All right. In quotes, my dog is thinking, in quotes, the owners kept walking away from the dog. I don't think they want to be with the dog. I've never said that. The owners don't want to be with the dog. All the owners want to do is be with the dog. All right. I don't think they want to be with this dog. I don't. And then she says, I don't think. Oh, this is from Christy W., by the way. Hopefully we can find her sometime. And he has a fundamental misunderstanding of modern dog behavior. While he touts positive reinforcement as his primary approach, yes, I was looking for this view on Yelp, and I do say I'm primary reinforcement trainer on Yelp. I got to change that. That's years ago, when I was a primarily positive reinforcement trainer. I got to take that off. That's where she's not wrong. As his primary approach, his videos show him flooding dogs, but mislabeling it desensitizing, misidentifying body language, and dismissing well-established science. Well-established science. Oh my God. In favor of tough guy theatrics. He crops his dog's ears for aesthetics and spins narratives about dominance and putting puppies in their place, even excusing his own dog's aggression as a lesson for others. Beckman's extreme rates and flashy self-promotion can't disguise the reality. His approach is rooted in entertainment era animal control, not ethical, evidence-based dog training. It is possible to watch your dog undergo a training session that isn't traumatic, that doesn't stress the dog out, that doesn't overwhelm them, that doesn't push them beyond their threshold, and that they don't need to recover from. But you won't find that in Joel Beckman. Boy, she hit all of them. Anthropomorphism, threshold, flooding. She must have went to a conference. She must have went to one of the continuing education conferences they have out there and learned all those terms. All right, let's go through it real quick. Here's my experience. So the first thing is, what is my experience? And the Veterinary Medical Association. All right, here's my experience. Which, why would I don't care. Like, why would I put it all over the place? Or excuse me, here's my education. Obviously, I have experience. Here's my education, of which I'm not going to put all over the place because it doesn't matter. Very few people care, and it's bragging. I'll brag on this live. I have 500 videos on YouTube and have done tons of lives. I don't know that I've ever really bragged about my education, but I'll do it now because apparently you need to brag to get through to dense people, to force-free people, to all these people. So I went to Moore Park Exotic Animal Training and Management Program. Now, what does that mean? I went to a place, moved 1,000 miles away, went to a school, and you basically live at the school for 2 years. I didn't go online. I didn't go to a conference. That's what she wants me to do. She wants me to go to conferences. No. I lived at a place with dogs, wolves, cats, and monkeys. I sat in class all day. Then I took animal behavior, animal training, conservation, you name it. I did it. And then I went on an actual zoo with dogs, wolves, and others, canines and everything else. And I trained the things did the things that I learned in class. And I did that for 2 straight years at the Harvard of Animal Training. For 2 years, no days off. You had to do projects where you go somewhere for a week. You had to do zoo days where you drive my old clunky, horrible car. I had to drive to Santa Barbara and LA like 20 times to follow a zookeeper around. Like hands-on, real world, learn, then go apply. Learn, then go apply with all these different species. That's what I did. It's 10x what any dog trainer has gone through because it just is. I don't know how else to say it. It's not a conference. It's not the Karen Pryor Clicker Training Academy owned by someone who doesn't train dogs. RIP Karen Pryor. It's actual education. Then I went to SeaWorld. We're not calling that education. We're calling that work experience, which is the Harvard of animal training. It just is. I'm not bragging. It is the best place for positive reinforcement, where all I did was shape behavior in animals that can kill you. Now, why does the animals that can kill you matter? When you work with elephants, big cats, killer whales, or extremely dangerous dogs, you become very good at your job because the stakes are so high. That's just how it works. You have to. So you become very good at all this stuff because you have to. I don't think that's bragging. I think that's just the way it is. Right? The puppy folks, the force-free folks who don't work with aggression, they have this giant blind spot because they just don't know what it's like to go, this is extremely dangerous. Just me being here, just me doing this. And so they don't even understand what that is like. But you get really good at things when it's dangerous. Okay? And that's what I did for 5 years. Left as a senior trainer. Worked at 2 different parks. Only with the whales. Never with the dolphins, never with the sea lions. Only with the killer whales. And yes, I was the person doing the flips. Say what you want about SeaWorld. Set them all free. Doesn't matter to me. But the training department is the best training department in the world, or at least was. It's not even close. Okay? All right. So, did I fulfill her requirements? Probably not. She'd rather see me go to a conference and sit there and look at the force-free presenter like a moron. Okay. The Veterinary Medical Association has spoken out against these harmful. The Veterinary Medical Association, the people who have Purina come in and teach their vet students about nutrition, that Veterinary Medical Association, that one, the Veterinary Medical Association who cuts off important parts of a dog's body, that one, the one who gives many shots to a dog that they don't need, that one, the ones who go, yeah, pull your dog in the back. We're going to pull your dog in the back. We're going to hold him down. We're going to cut this part of their body off. Then we're going to put him in a 2x2 thing while your dog whines for 6 hours in the back and causes trauma. That one, those guys don't like me. That's okay with me. I'm okay with that. Okay. Oh my gosh, I still have this up here. I'm so sorry. You want to see me rant with my big face. All right. What I charge? Your dog is aggressive. Your dog has no friends. Your dog has attack dogs. Your dog comes out to me. This isn't always the case, obviously, and that's not always the case with your dog. Dog comes out to me. It makes 3 friends. It's running around a field with 3 dogs. What's that worth? I don't know. People seem to be okay with the cost when that happens, and that often happens. I don't know exactly what's that's worth to you. It's dangerous to me, dangerous to dogs, dangerous to my dogs, dangerous to other dogs. What is that worth? I don't know. Maybe I should just make it free. That would be the nice thing to do. I don't know. Peer-reviewed credentials or professional development in canine behavior. His training approach is real outdated. How about anthropomorphism? Anthropomorphism is putting human emotion on animals. There's a lot of definitions of it. You should listen to me. You should be more anthropomorphic, not less. Them using anthropomorphism is a way to control speech. That's what it is. To many people, you can't even say that dog's happy, even though that dog's happy. Can't say that. Scientists and force-free trainers are the only ones that get to decide if they put it in real terms, which you can. I learned about this in school, and they cautioned against anthropomorphism. But when you're dealing in dog training, and I get it with elephants and killer whales, I get it. It's a bit different with dogs because they live in a weird world. They're not in the wild, but we have laws where they can't go attack people and kill other animals. We have laws, so they live in this weird world. So we actually have to say things that the person understands so that the client can make the behavioral change. We can't just talk in these scientific ways. All right, be more anthropomorphic, actually. You might be wrong sometimes. It's all right. Be more anthropomorphic with your dog because you'll be able to change their behavior better. He crops his dog's ears. If I got a puppy Doberman, I would not crop the dog's ears. Probably. I don't really have a problem with it. How do you feel about circumcision, Christy W? You okay with little children going through that process, but not dogs? That's what I would say. You might want to know where your priorities are. If you are okay with circumcision, not okay with tail cropping and ear docking, you might like dogs more than people. And there's an organization for that. You should start giving money to that animal rights group. And go protest on the streets because you're an extremist. Okay. All right. So that's my rant. I mean, that's the main points. So Duke came to me 5 months old. Prince came to me 4 months old. Prince was returned to the breeder. Breeder called me. Duke had 3 homes. The guy contacted me. I haven't docked or done anything like that. Okay. Let's see where we're at here. I missed a lot of chats. All right. That girl commenting on cropping your dog's ears is probably the same one that shames people for not spaying or neutering their dogs. Another good point. What about spaying and neutering? I would argue the testicles and the uterus are significantly more important than extra skin around a dog's ear and more traumatic. That's a good point, McFlurry, or whoever said that. Okay. All right. Anthropomorphism just helps owners relate to what you're saying. That's exactly right. All right. So, any questions about Hater of the Week? Did I miss anything? Flashy self-promotion can't disguise the reality. His approach is rooted in entertainment era dog control, not ethical evidence. Dude, the evidence-based thing is the ivory tower dog owners. Like, they should be looked at. I shouldn't say it like that. Can you imagine like a less desirable personality trait than to be an ivory tower anything? This sort of academia, ivory tower person. If you're going that way in your life, sort of academia, ivory tower stuff, turn around. It's bad. It's sort of insufferable. Like, it's not good. I have the videos. Like, do the dogs get better? Or do the dogs get worse? Okay. Then you put out the videos. Same dogs. Do they get better? Or do they get worse? Or do you just not have the videos? Why don't you have the videos? All right, okay. Hello, Mr. Beckman. This is a commenter. I haven't read this, so I really like to know your opinion on Hassan. Hassan and the shot collar. I don't know who Hassan is. There's Haz. So Haz for Shield Canine. He did a video on the Dobermans. It's his last video. You should go watch it. And I was going to actually include this. I think that's who this person's talking about. You should watch it. It's done 4 days ago. I watched some of it. And I was going to do a segment on this, but you referred to him, so I'll do it now. So I'm going to be, so it says, does Haz, I think his name's Haz. I apologize to him if I'm not getting his name right. Like or dislike Dobermans. And boy, I mean, I couldn't watch it. Imagine if he didn't like Dobermans. I mean, can you imagine? Here's what I'd do. I would comment and I would say, oh, they're the sweetest dogs in the world. You just don't know the breed. And then I'd post a picture of my Dobermans on the couch. Obviously, I'm kidding here. So I would never do what the Pitbull people do, ever. The Pitbull fanatics. I could care less if people love or hate Dobermans. It doesn't matter. And he likes them, and his video is great. But I don't care. You could hate Dobermans. I don't care if you ban Dobermans. It doesn't matter to me. I like them. I guess I'd be like a little bummed, and then I'd move on with my life. The breed of the dog I own, I got a lot going on in my life. I have kids. I have a wife. I have a business. I have hobbies. I could care less about anything in regards to Dobermans. I like Dobermans. They're my favorite breed. I'd go get a Rottweiler if they banned Dobermans. The pit bull folks would lose their minds, and I don't understand it. For the life of me, I don't understand it. They'd be marching on Washington. So back to my bit. I'd comment and I'd say, you just don't understand them. And I'd get all mad at him and tell him that they're actually the sweetest dogs ever. And you know what I'm saying? That's not what I would do. But it doesn't matter to me whether anybody likes them or hates them. I don't want people on the streets coming up and loving my dog anyway. Hate them. Who cares? It's a dog breed. The dog doesn't know. Dogs like pit bulls walking around like, oh my gosh, I saw that video. Like, who cares? Go get a hobby. Don't let your breed like be your self, your identification. All right. So anyway, what I don't know about, you want my opinion on shock collars? They're not good when they're turned up to 100. That's my opinion on shock collars. E-collars, I'm sorry. I'm fine with people getting mad at me about saying it's not a shock collar snake collar. When you turn them up, you can cause damage. Why? I don't believe the dog's brain understands a shock when it's super high. So a dog's brain, if you like grabbed a dog and told him sit and you were like mad at them as an owner, that's been 100,000 years of mammals having babies and the mom or the dad getting mad at them. Dog's brain's like, oh, you're getting mad at me. Maybe I won't do that thing. The gentle leader, they've been using it with 10,000 years on horses. That doesn't mean the horse or the dog understands the sort of head movement, but there is sort of years of it proving that that's how you can control a large animal. What's the only thing in nature that is an electric shock? It is a lightning bolt. And I don't believe that the brain has been developed to understand. So basically it's positive punishment. It's operantly punishing a behavior, which then the behavior should go down, and it does. But it does when it's turned up too high, and it's used classical conditioning wise, it's used with dog sees another dog, e-collar's turned up too high, dog growls, e-collar happens. That's the situation I don't like it with. There's sort of a Pavlovian, I don't like that thing because I felt pain when I looked at that thing. And then it's turned up so high and it's an electric shock. So the dog kind of doesn't get it. Okay. Now e-collar people are going to maybe not like this. When it's turned up too high and when it's used with dog on dog or dog on people or dog on cat aggression, that's when I think it goes too far. And don't get mad at me, get mad at the trainers who do this, not the good e-collar trainers, but trainers who do this. And then their dogs come to you as that good e-collar trainer or me, and their dog's whacked out. And it has a Pavlovian, a classical conditioning response to seeing that thing. And or it hides all the precursors. I won't growl, but then they go off. Anyway, so that's my opinion on e-collars. And I hope I'm saying his name right. He's a good guy. He's a great trainer. And you should watch that video. But does that make sense, that whole lightning bolt thing? I hope it does. I hope you can wrap your head around that. Why would the dog's brain sort of understand something that their brain is not meant to understand? Hope that makes sense. That's just my opinion. All right. What was my last segment? Oh, yeah. I'm going to talk about a Beckman coaching program graduate. And I'm going to put her email up here. Southern New Jersey. And I think, is it Northern New Jersey that has all the population? All I know about New Jersey is from The Sopranos. And then I went there this summer. We did a trip around there, and all I did is drive around looking for scenes from the intro to The Sopranos. That's all I know about New Jersey. But she's in Southern New Jersey. So that tri-state area, I'm assuming there's some cities around Southern New Jersey that she goes to. Her name is Alexandra. Oh, she's in here. Isn't she? Yeah. Okay. There she is, guys. Start K9 Academy, right? Alexandra, put your email in the comments. Joel's right on using e-college to stop aggression, actually counterproductive and often escalates the aggression. She's going to put her email in here, I hope. And I'm going to talk about her dog. She's got a Rottweiler. She's got a Prince. Okay. Now, like Prince, she can be a bit much. Oh, I should talk about how they said that my dog aggresses on other dogs. She's got a Rottweiler that she has used as a helper dog. She posted a video. We broke it down in the during one of my lives with Beckman coaching program. All right, she needs to put that in there. I'm going to put Beckman Pro in here as she's doing that. BeckmanPro.com. This is where you find my puppy program, my aggression program, my Beckman coaching program, and any sessions you want to do with me. Okay. Yes. So she's going to write her email in there, I hope. Okay, let's get to some questions if you have any. Or I can keep going off. Oh, yeah. Oh, thanks for the $5. Lee H7388. I'm about to get a Doberman mix with Cane Corso, I mean. As a puppy, any advice? I have had 2 Dobermans before. Okay, here's my advice to you. And if I could give you I suppose, give you 2 minutes of advice, and maybe I will. Get the Beckman puppy program. The Beckman puppy program was done as I'm raising Duke to be Duke. And Duke is not an easy dog. And other puppies. There's tons of videos in there on how to get a Duke or a Prince. And it's very important. That's what I would say, to be honest with you. Get that program. It's hard to give an elevator, speech on raising a dog. Like, I could go off and it's too long. And it depends on your dog and your personality and their personality and your house and their trauma or lack of. And it depends on too much stuff for me to really give you a quick talk about that. All right, Q&A. I'm going to put Alexandra's email in here. She might not be in here, actually. She has someone else. Okay. Here's her email. Okay. Southern New Jersey. Helper dog. She's a great trainer. She's been doing it for like 20 years. She's a graduate, Beckman coaching. All right. Mr. Beckman, thank you for your help. What would you do with a 6-month-old lab puppy who barks at neighbors and us if we ignore him, even for 5 minutes? Right now, I just ignore him. There's a time and a place for ignoring. That time is if you have seen ignoring work. There is a time and a place for redirection. Hey, puppy, instead of doing that barking behavior at them or us, let's play tug. Is it to a degree reinforcing the barking. To a degree it is, and to a degree it's redirection. And you're mildly reinforcing it, but it's better than just letting them do it. There is a time and a place for correcting the behavior. Our neighbors who Duke used to bark at are like the nicest people in the world. And we'd let him get a few barks out. And then I would say, hey, and I'd clap, which is a marker, and the dog go, ah, or he'd look at me. And then I would maybe walk out and I would maybe bring him in the house. If he was a little bit older, maybe I'd say, hey, sit down, which is like redirection-ish, punishment-ish. And then he got through that 9 months. I don't know when he stopped, 9 months, 10 months. And I just saw it kind of go ever so slightly go down, partly because of my interjection, partly because he was getting older, partly because he was desensitizing to them. All these things made the behavior go like that. I did not need the behavior to drop off a cliff. Now, why did I say they're nice? If I had creepy neighbors, I would let him bark for a variety of reasons. Plus, I would understand the barking more than they're walking out of their own house. So I'm going to correct the behavior, maybe if the dog's old enough to understand the correction, because it makes no sense. I mean, it does make sense in a way. He's got a property line there outside the property line. You gotta go, does this behavior make sense for their age, for their breed? And then you go, and what age are they? Is this normal for them to do? They're trying to feel their way through the world. Let me redirect it. Let me just let it happen. And I think it's just going to go away. Or no. This actually makes no sense, right? And for a puppy, everything makes sense unless they're sort of outside the normal. Okay. And the normal's pretty big. Like I would take, if you have a kid, you take him to the pediatrician, you're like, what about this? What about this? What about this way they're acting? What about this, thing on their body? And everything's pretty much normal. And that's kind of the case for puppies too. But there are things that bring them right outside of normal. And if that's and that is hard to identify, honestly, you have had to have seen 1,000 puppies to really know normal and not normal. And then if they're outside normal, an example would be OCD. Puppies don't have a lot of OCD, but that sits outside normal. ADHD, just full on like retardation, if that's the word people use anymore. It's easier to identify when they're a little older, but I can sometimes catch it as a puppy. Anyway, okay. There are some great bully breed dogs who are never aggressive. Of course there are. I'm not countering what you're saying, but I don't need to. Who needs to say that? Oh, I'm going to say some bad things about bully breeds, but there's a lot of good ones. Of course there's a lot of good ones. Look at my channel. I have a million view video where I'm just like, it's this pit mix, and she's the greatest dog ever in the history of the world. So of course there are. But the ones who go 100% with it, I used to do pit bull rescue despite different trainers and a pretty savvy owner, she remained. Yeah, they can go hard when they go hard, and that's a problem. Okay. Oh, delightfully dissident. I miss you too, but I'm going to try to be here every week doing this. So don't miss me too much. So yeah, we got through pretty much everything. Superstitious behavior we talked about. Hater of the week I went off on. And Beckman coaching program. South New Jersey is where she is. I put her email, and she has a helper dog, which is huge. But once you get to the end of Beckman coaching program, or throughout it, we work on your own helper dog so you can have a helper dog. Beckman coaching is for dog trainers, current professionals, or people who want to become dog trainers. And there's helper dog stuff with it. Okay, Q&A. I would love to hear your experience with true neurologic aggression, A22 genotype cases. I don't know what A22 genotype cases is. I would love to hear your experience with true neurological aggression. Neurological aggression. I don't know what you mean by that. Neurological aggression. I mean, I understand the two words. You mean not learned, not evolved from fear or trauma? Any aggression other than nature versus nurture aggression? That's unfortunately what you get into with the terrier group, you know, and other dogs. Um, I don't know exactly what you mean by that. UC Davis, she says, UC Davis does a gene test for aggression. Okay. And what have they found? Does it always line up? Genes line up? Dog's actually aggressive? Please type that in. That matters. UC Davis, I visited UC Davis. So that school I was talking about, my education I was talking about, UC Davis has a giant vet school. So we went up there as a class on a field trip. We went to UC Davis. They have a big equine program. They have a giant vet school. I think the biggest in the country. I don't remember exactly what we did up there. I don't really have an opinion. I wish I did. Have you tried meds? Yes. Your Malinois is positive for A22. Oh, so the gene is A22. UC Davis did a study and figured out they had the gene. So it has to be passed on. Yeah, that's new. So an aggressive gene. Aggression gene. Okay, this is the first time hearing of this. I got to think about it a little bit. And he had sudden aggression. Okay. I don't know what to say about it. All right, we have any tips for me? I have a 4-year-old German Shepherd, good with kids. Dogs, but likes to chase cats, but not to kill, but for the fun of the chase. I do the out the door method, which I have made her better. Yeah, cats are tough. Duke is still not best friends with the cats, although he was better with the cats. Cats and dogs living together, famous Bill Murray quote, right? From Ghostbusters. Cats and dogs living together can be a tough thing, in part because of the cats, in part because of the dogs. So break it down. So is it a prey drive? Yeah, it's usually part prey drive. It's part animus. Should you correct the behavior? You should. Should you desensitize them to the cats if possible? You should. Should you I don't know if it's cats in the world, it's significantly more difficult than cats at home. If your dog respects you, okay, if your dog knows you're the boss, if you're dominant, whatever word you want to use, Prince, if I picked up any animal and I said, I love this thing, and Prince watched me love this thing, Prince will not ever do anything to that thing. That's called the handshake method. I love this thing. And my dogs will go, I'm not messing with that thing. He loves that thing. That can be very powerful, but you don't have access to a cat. Probably need to operantly punish the behavior. A little correction on the leash, something. You also need to get the dog around the stimulus, in this case, the cat, so it can desensitize to the movements. Hard to do when you don't own a cat. Impossible to do, actually. Prey drive is a gnarly thing. Is the aggression gene for canines like the gene for alcoholism and addiction? All right. I have some opinions on gene for alcoholism and addiction. So I don't know that there is one. There's other genes that are predictors of alcohol and stuff, but they're not like alcoholic genes. They're like the FHMR gene, which is about your cells sort of not being able to release toxins, and then a lot of those people turn to alcoholism. Yeah, the Start K9 says high probability, but not a guarantee. Can I discuss littermate syndrome and your approach to overcome the issue? Littermate syndrome, you should get the dogs away from each other as littermates. It really is a good thing to do. That's number one. But let's say you didn't do that. You have to be sort of an overwhelming force. If dogs are attacking each other, you are an overwhelming force. Take a step back from that. Everything you say should matter to your dogs. Eh, to Prince, when we have a party, Prince wants to be petted by everybody. But you know who he wants to be petted the most by? Me. That's important. Like, you really should be this very important thing in your dog's life. What you say is important. Your affection is important. Littermate syndrome is hard because it's deep. It's on a deep level. It's not even a choice in a way. Like if you have two kids and they go at it, like they can't really control themselves. So with dogs, you're going to the vet, like your kids are fighting and sending each other to the hospital, like everything's changing now. We're not accepting this. You're going to go, you're going to grab, you're going to correct, and you're not going to be the nicest guy if dogs are sending each other to the vet. Okay? So that's my kind of quick advice to you is like the everything has changed. You're the boss. Who's number one, who's number two, and number three does not matter. But it is deep. It's like animus. It's kind of oil and water to a degree. Although they can be together a lot and then they fight, it's hard to do. Let's talk Rottweilers. I got a 9-week-old female. I hate to direct you to something else, but I'd do the Beckman puppy program at beckmanpro.com. That's just what I would do. I was raising Duke and I made a bunch of videos and with other puppies and challenges. Duke was horrible. Duke was barking at everything. Duke was whining. Duke was jumping on the back door. Duke was pulling on the leash. Duke was, my first place is taking him places are on there. If you want my dogs, and I'm not saying you do, but if you do, that's probably the puppy program's the place to get my dogs, to raise your dogs like my dogs. Yeah, I would do it. I mean, it's a lot of videos. It's arguably too many videos. My next program, which will be either sort of, I want to call it like it's a horrible name, but like reducing behaviors. But it's kind of focused on a year to a year and a half or 9 months to 2 years kind of ish, where they're not a puppy, they're an adult, a year to 2 years, but like they're still doing these things that we need to get rid of. That's going to be less videos. It's a lot of videos, but just go through. Don't watch them all. If it's videos labeled jumping on the back door, but you don't have that problem, skip it. Pulling on leash, if you don't have that problem, skip it. But that's what I would do. But it is a lot of videos. I just turn the camera on. Duke's barking at the neighbors. Sweetie, go get the camera. Boom, go outside, do it. Duke and the cats. Oh, go get the camera. Here's our first. That's long. It's there. With the cats is 3 20-minute videos. It's an hour of videos on just the process I'm doing with Duke hating the cats. All right, we got to be done. That was kind of a live, kind of a podcasty. I'm going to try to do this every week. Thank you guys. I will have each week, I'll try to have hater of the week. I'll try to have a behavior or like a principle of the week. And then we'll probably highlight somebody from the Beckman coaching program, do Q&A. I'll change it up. That's it. Love you guys. Thank you. And I will see you next week.